Hello, my name is Trevor Chung, and I'm a 6th grader at St. Catherine's of Alexandria School in Riverside. My experiment is the misinformation effect. The misinformation effect is the impairment in memory of a past event because of misleading information. My question for this experiment is, can study subjects' recollection of a past event be influenced by the ways a question is asked? My hypothesis is, if I twist the way a question is asked, then I predict that a study subject's recollection of an event will be different. Now, I will briefly get into the methods and materials. For the materials, I used a 39-second clip of Tom and Jerry by Warner Brothers. Tom is a cat, Jerry is a mouse, and Spike is a dog. Consent forms. Each participant needs to fill out a consent. Question sheet. 2 questions for each control and study group about the video clip. Now here are the questions. For the control group questions, the questions aren't misleading but are straightforward. Question 1. Did Spike actually hit Tom's head? Question 2. Did Tom get a big bump on his right leg? For the study group questions, they are misleading. Question 1. How hard did Spike smash Tom's head with the bat? Question 2. How big is the bump on Tom's right leg after being struck by Jerry? There are 20 participants, 10, 5 adults, 5 children, in each control and study group. For the procedures, potential participants are asked if they are willing to participate in the experiment. I'll explain the details of the experiment and what the participants need to do. If they agree, consent forms are provided. After receiving the signed consent forms, the video clip is shown to the participants. They can only view once. After 48 hours, the participants in each group are asked the 2 questions about the video clip, as I mentioned in materials. The answers are recorded. Then there's the data analysis. The percentage of participants in each group given correct and incorrect answers are calculated. Now for the most important part of my experiment, the data. On the left side is the study group data table, and on the right side is a control group data table. At the bottom, there are 2 graphs that depict the same data but in different forms. In the study group, the correct answer for question 1 is, Spike did not smash Tom's head. For question 2, the correct answer is, there was no bump. As shown on the study group data table and figure 1, for question 1, 7 out of 10, or 70%, gave the incorrect answers, meaning they were influenced by misinformation. 3 out of 10 people, or 30%, gave the correct answer, meaning they were not influenced by misinformation. For question 2, 5 out of 10, or 50%, were influenced by misinformation by giving the incorrect answers. The remainder gave the correct answer. On average, in the study group, 60% of participants were influenced by post-event misinformation. In the control group, the correct answer for question 1 is, no, Spike did not hit Tom's head. For question 2, the correct answer is no. As shown on the control group data table and figure 2, for question 1, 5 out of 10, or 50%, gave incorrect answers. For question 2, 4 out of 10, 40%, gave the incorrect answer. On average, in the control group, only 45% of participants gave the incorrect answer. I conclude that the data analysis above supports my hypothesis. Although the hypothesis is supported by the data, there are possible sources of error. First, there are 2 participants in the control group who were asked the questions more than 2 days after viewing the video. This prolonged time lapse can affect the memory. Second, some participants might not have focused on the video clip and just guessed the answers. Third, some participants might not know the character's name as being used in the question and again gave random answers. Last, the small number of participants in this project might not be consistent in a similar but bigger project. Future questions and for further consideration. This project has raised several curious questions. First, if there were a larger number of participants, would the averages change and in which direction, more or less? Second, if the time lapse between viewing the video and the question being asked changed, less than or more than 2 days, how would the results change? Through this project, I learned at least 3 major points. 1. I have learned in-depth knowledge of misinformation and its effect. 2. People can be easily influenced by misinformation. 3. We need to have multiple sources of eyewitness information to have a better understanding about a past event. This project has several benefits to society. 1. When proving information about a past event, we need to be as accurate as we can and not be influenced by misinformation. 2. We should be very careful about eyewitness information about an event in the past. To conclude this presentation, I would like to acknowledge some people. Miss Harrison, my science teacher, for her teaching about the scientific method and important suggestions about this project. My peers, classmates, for your review and suggestion in this project. Thank you for listening.